All right, welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready finally for the Swiss round number 2 here in this Activision Blizzard Overwatch tournament. And it was definitely a little bit of a longer break than we were expecting. We had some teams that were absolutely fighting for their life, to say the least there. It was pretty funny seeing them get to see their match on stream and whatnot. But finally, it's over. We're going up against our next opponent, going to be Ferris State University.
Yeah, and from what I hear, Ferris State they went up against UTA JV. From what I hear from the Overwatch team, and apparently the UTA JV is pretty good. So we actually might have a bit of a match on our hands. You know, the last couple were a little bit, not a great matchup in terms of skill level. Not to say that like it couldn't be in the future, but just the past couple matches were a little bit.
These guys, though.
Stir grass.
I swear to God.
So we're going into our
goodness.
first map here on Ilios against Ferris State University. From what I hear, could be a game, so it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, so they were a team of few words, to say the least. There, as what they say that this was going to be a game. They're all right, and they might drop a round or two, which we'll have to see. But of course, starting things off, we're going to have our Saints on the left side in the blue. Same roster as last time. Meanwhile, in the right-hand side, we do have the side of Ferris State University. As we hop on into Ilios, the first map here, and immediately it's going to be Delay there on the side of FSU, just taking control of the points by himself, but he's dealing with so many Saints, he's probably going to get pushed out.
Yeah, and they don't have complete site control exactly right yet, which is something a first that we've seen in the games today already. And Dalia right here is going deep in as Orisa here, getting the spears, making sure to get their tank away from their supports and their teammates. Squeak just about squeaks out, but not quite enough, and gets taken out right there.
All right, so we actually have some percent on the board for our opponents. So Ferris State showing up and ready to go here. It looks like sure Saints caught it initially, but then got it right back. Saints gonna have to try and maybe change up a composition, or no, not gonna change up the composition. It's gonna try and gather themselves together and fire away once again here, as we do see Delay there on the tank on the Orisa, just holding ground. But Amarin out of nowhere is able to find the one DPS player. Squeak there on the Jugger Queen, charging on through, drops the axe on their face, and this should be 100% a retake for Saints.
I was just about to say that FSU was giving St. Clair a run for their money, but wow, just St. Clair's managed to take it off and push them off point here, and now it is looking totally in the other direction. Looks like we're prepping the Baptiste ult here. Axe, another Baptiste, prepping, also has his ult ready here. And he's diving in, making sure his team is all healthy and good right now. Making their way down the road. Looks like they're gearing up for a big team fight here. We got the Baptiste wall out. They are pushing them off of sight. St. Clair takes refuge away from all these ultimates. The Immortality Field comes up, protecting his team, and a huge team fight is taken forth. But the supports are doing work. There's the Orisa ult. Noxious gets one, Razor gets another. They are really deep in there. It's hard to see what's happening behind all these buildings. At least it's such a tight map, but looks like St. Clair got so many kills and pushed them all back to spawn there.
They got so many kills, and it did blow a little bit of utility on the side of Ferris State as well. Delay on the Orisa did blow the ultimate and got next to no value for it. Not going to have it for this next team fight, but
there's the Junker Queen ult going deep in. Squeak gets one, Redx gets another, Kavashik gets Emmerin, but Squeak gets a third, and that looks like it pushed off their push there. There's Noxious running from rooftop to rooftop, practicing his ninja skills, has his ninja blade ready at any point. Probably trying to get behind the team here, make good use of this Dragon Blade. There's the Lucio ult.
Here we go.
Noxious goes in, he gets one, gets two, he's on a 10-player kill streak. Squeak gets another and gets the Kiriko. That delays another point push, and that looks like it is it for St. Clair, unless someone can somehow teleport straight to point, but that is around for St. Clair.
Yeah, they just needed one more solid team fight, and they had the utility to do it. They lock it down no questions asked. It looked like, I believe that was Noxus there on the Genji that was able to just kind of tear on through the back line. Meanwhile, Emran, Squeak, and the rest of the squad are able to focus up front and just kind of shut down the tank line from even getting somewhat close to the point.
Has a big Junker Queen ult. FSU did put up a good fight in the early game. They got really good site control, but once St. Clair figured out their game plan, they just pushed them right off of site. And once they got them stuck in their spawn, they kept them there.
Yeah, it was really scrappy at the start, and that's where it seemed like FSU was able to get some ground. But as soon as, like you were saying, as soon as the Saints got control, they had position, and they were able to lock it down, there was just absolutely no way to make it back. But now, of course, next part of Ilios here, as I refer to as the pit. I know it's not necessarily the right term for it, but it's just, this might as well be the Gladiator's pit of sorts here on Ilios. And here we go. We're going to see the Reinhardt coming out here alongside a Reaper for the front line of FSU. Meanwhile, the Saints just picking exactly what they had last time by.
Is the
Take this fight.
Larry has such good heals and such good pinpoint precision damage there. It looks like St. Clair gained site control here to start, but it's being contested by FSU. They want to stop this. Oh, Red X almost gets the boop off of map here.
Oh, yeah.
Running around on the back line, taking out all their turrets, all their support capabilities, but Red X gets taken out, and it looks like FSU gains site control first.
All right, so this Reaper coming out here from Kavoshki on the side of FSU has that extra little punch for those close quarters combats in the control point itself, and I feel like that had a big portion to do with how or why the Saints had to kind of fall off here to start things off. But we got to see what happens now. Saints, if they can find themselves a quick pick, they should be able to just snowball through the team fight. And they are going to try it. We see Squeak going front line it. Red X finding a little bit of revenge this time on the support line. And here we go. Squeak and the rest of the squad are going to slaughter on through. They find exactly what I was talking about, and they are going to get this point flipped over.
They gain site control. Let's see if they can box them in their spawn again. This map has a little
forward.
more sight lines, a little more paths you can take, so it might not be as easy. But they are all geared up and up on that high ground there. Just peppering them. Noxious gets a clean kill right there.
God, I never think of Genji's headshots being really that devastating, but they really made it work when you have five
Noxious
people
is on the back line here, taking out the supports.
Yeah, and then this is just obnoxious, to say the least, here for the side of Ferris State University. Just so much mobility, and we know Red X, we've seen him play over and over on this Lucio as well. Dude might as well be a DPS on his own right there on the Lucio. Does not care if he's squishy or not. Movement speed's on it. He's got the shields. He's going to tell the Saints to move on through and send them right back to their spawn.
Noxious has the Dragon Blade, gets 2 kills. Emeren gets 2 kills, and that is a team kill.
All right, halfway after that one, some solid coordination coming out here from the Saints, and they still have a little bit of extra utility in the back pocket. You got the ultimate coming out here from Razor. You've got the ultimate for Squeak as well, being able to possibly shut down the team fight in a moment's notice. But we do have the 2 ultimates on the side of Ferris State, third possibly. So we could see if they can coordinate, they can maybe get this, but they're getting chased down. And the DPS, before they can even get anything done, they're getting taken down by everybody. And the Saints, once again, going to sweep through this team fight. Everybody going to find themselves a piece of the pie on this one with next to no utility.
The team comp they're running is so fast. They have like multiple speed boosts here. They have Genji and blanking on his name, Lucio. Sorry, and
you got it.
And with Junker Queen's speed boost too, they have like 2 speed boosts. They can just dive right in there, disrupt. And he pushes, and Emeren with pinpoint precision takes out 2. Red X gets 2 as well. Delia gets a pin, but gets stopped by the team. That's so unfortunate. Another team kill, and that is round 1 and another point for St. Clair.
And Saints knew they just had to hold that one more time, and Ferris State knew they had to get there. They had to blow everything possible. As much as that was a shatter that you would have wanted to withhold, you did not have the time. And Emeren on the Sojourn is going to get this play of the game. I mean, when you're parked up here so beautifully on the high ground, you don't even need your ultimate. These railgun shots are just absolutely finding their mark over and over and over again. Razor getting a lot on the kill feed as well. And just like that, the Saints, not flawlessly, as they were able to get rid of some of the, Ferris State was able to get some percent, but no rounds taken. So solid job there from Saints to start off round 1.
Seemed like a solid assessment from the players. They said they might lose a few rounds, but they seem to be on their mojo today, just on point, playing well as a team, and just completely dominating. But FSU did put up much more of a good fight there, taking control at very needed points and getting control first a lot of times, which is interesting, but they just had some trouble maintaining that control.
I like to think that maybe they were just being extremely respectful, and giving them a couple rounds actually translated to giving them a couple percent. But we'll see what happens. I think this is, again, another map that everybody is too familiar with competitive collegiate Overwatch. We're going to Eichenwald up next, and this is another one of those maps where it seems like it either goes all the way to point 3 or you get like hard stuck at the very first point right under the bridge. And with the way that the Saints are playing, it feels like once they can position themselves in a spot to actually get a good lockdown, that they're impenetrable. But we'll have to see. There's a few different avenues that can be played, whether it's through the sky or whether it's trying to just like force it through that underpass. But again, I just believe in the Saints defense too much to think that Ferris State has a chance here. But I would love to be proven wrong. I want to see a challenge here.
Yeah, it would be great to see a game on their hands and really make the Saints give it their all. Not that they're not giving it their all now, but just make them dig deep and see what they really got when they're put on the line here. And the first map is Eichenwald. Looks like the Saints are here starting on defense. Yeah, they're starting on defense, and FSU is starting on attack.
All right, so we're going to have to set the bar here. How much can the Saints hang on to? And it seems like they do have a solid lockdown kind of like standard composition here with Emerald on the Sojourn. You got Noxious on the Ashe as well. So we've got lots of long-range options, especially if the opponents were to try a Pharmacy or something to try and take the Skyway around that underpass. They would have an answer for it. But even if they just go straight through the underpass, they will absolutely be lit up here. Razor and Red X ready to rock as well. Squeak up front. Let's see how they can do as the Ferris State squad coming on through.
FSU pushes through the underpass very quickly. Chance on top of the bridge, trying to find a pick here. Spraying down their tank, but it looks like Galay is getting bursted down by the enemy team there, by St. Clair. But gets healed up, pushes on. Squeak trying to hold the line here, but getting burned down by all their DPS here.
Okay, they've managed to get around and actually to the point, so this is where you can kind of breathe a little bit, but at the same time, this is where the true dogfight really happens, and it is actually going to be Kavo with the first initial elimination onto Amarin, so could possibly snowball this one through. We'll have to see those. Squeak holding strong, fortified up in the front lines, but the points going down. That is going to be a third already ticked through. Honestly, Razor falls on through as well. It looks like the Saints are going to crumble. A very solid attack here from Ferris State to get through this first point.
So usually what you expect with Eichenwald is really hard to hold on to that first point, so we'll see if they can stop the payload here, but if they don't stop it soon, it's looking pretty good right now for FSU.
I mean, you lose one person and they have to walk so far to get back there. And Amarin just got taken down pretty well instantaneously. It looks like Cabo, they're finally I can't remember what it's called, but the grenades, that little blue shot there, the explosives to just take them down. That thing right there, you know what I'm talking about. For whatever reason, I'm pulling a mind part on it, but was able to do a ton of burst damage, to say the least here. So solid job in his own right. Now going to try and play the flanks. Has that attack visor available.
There's the Baptiste ult.
Yeah, this will be the time to go.
That's the Ilaria ult. Coming. 2 ults burned here. They are pushing onto site here, but the Saints' defense is just too good. They can't really get... They got pushed back away from the cart, back to their spawn. And it looks like the Saints want to try and keep them here, and probably want to play very defensively here because, like you said, it is a very long walk back if they do manage to get taken out.
Yeah, so now Saints get their opportunity to breathe, and they have ultimates for days. We have basically 4 out of 5, with Razor just using his there a moment ago just to lock down the site. And now here comes a couple of them. Amarin's locked and loaded, ready to go. Dives on through, takes care of the DPS right past the tank line like they're not even there. And it should be enough to push this all the way back to the spawn. Using 3 of the ults, but Noxious still has 1 more in the tank as well, so it's not like they're going to be completely skunked for this next push.
And it looks like they have got them stuck in their spawn here. Amarin has to back out though, running a little low on health after that big assault there. Looks like Chance is spraying them down here, has ult ready, looking to do maybe what Amarin did right back to them. But with where their team is right now, They are on the back foot. They need to find some way onto their payload. They need to find some way to push the Saints off. Emran gets taken out by Chance. Chance has used his ultimate. Noxious takes out Chance. There's the Immortality Field. Squeak gets taken, takes out the axe. I didn't even know that was an object. Delay has ult here, trying to make it out here, find some advantage state.
Man, that was like a fight on two fronts there. That was extremely difficult for either team to really try and take care of. It's going to be the Saints that end up getting the best of it. Noxious dropping Bob down to really assist on the back line here instead of the other side of the map. Did stall things out a little bit, but this has still been basically an extended
all the way on the
one.
back
Ults
line.
are still being dropped, actually, but it is going to be Delay getting picked out here as Red X diving on through on the rooftops, going to finish the job there. So that was a scrap and a half if I've ever seen one, but it does not result with this payload moving very far.
Yep. Red X peppering people from afar here with his little burst rifle, making sure his team is topped up. Has the Baptiste wall ready so they can make another defensive play. There's Delay flying in on top of the castle, trying to take out the supports.
Okay,
I hear another Orisa ult get popped. Axe in the Immortality Field, but that's not enough to save him. Kavoshki here has the visor ready. They're
wow,
trying
he's
to
gonna
push
get
back.
absolutely incredible.
Oh, there's the Baptiste wall. That is too strong with Ilari. That's like a one hit.
And I'm surprised Squeak lived that, to be honest, but perfect timing to have the absorb available when you just start spinning that spear around, absorbing all the projectiles in the area. And I understand here why July is like switched over to this Diva and how they're picking like a different composition to deal with this extra rooftop, being able to disrupt them by flying up there. But by picking this Diva and flying up so high, you're going to maybe have one of your DPS that actually wants to follow you. But everybody else is in your support line are basically a sitting duck, which is what I think we're basically seeing right here. They dive on in, but the supports are not quite there with them. And they are slowly but surely. Razor is support, but yet he's finding himself the most last hits here in this fight. And he is going to, alongside Emran, clean this one up with a minute or so left to go.
With the high ground advantage, they've just been maintaining here. Even attacking from above is risky with all the hit scan heroes that St. Clair is running. They can't really find any good way onto the point here. Look at that, Delay
Shredded.
already shredded down. Just where are you supposed to hide here?
It's like, yeah, you have the defense matrix, but as soon as it goes down, you're just such a huge target. And the Saints seem to be doing a really good job of
Emran ult, charging in, going in very fast, gets a kill. Delay trying to take him out.
Another
Emran gets one, Razor gets another. Looking for the third or fourth. Squeak gets the fourth, and Jal but one in the background. There's a slippery little Tracer trying to retreat here.
We chase
Running in the back line, and they still get the kill. That is so unfortunate for FSU, and a great play by St. Clair.
That staggers things out, but if Emran does get caught here, this could mean problems for this final push, but it looks like he is going to get out of there alive. Ferris State University, 20 seconds on the clock to get this one done. And they're just slowly taking care of Razor's turrets. They want to make sure they get this push done right with no extra chip damage. But 10 seconds, they need this push to be the one. Otherwise, Saints are going to be in a solid position.
And what are you supposed to do when there's an Orisa ult on the payload? Red X takes out the Genji. They are not in a great state right now. Squeak is pushing the backline, the supports taking out the Diva here. And FSU needs to get on the payload, or else this is another round for St. Clair.
Oh,
and Noxious gets a double kill. I didn't even see that in the chaos of them scrambling for the payload, and that is another round for St. Clair.
They charge towards the points, but it actually lines them up for Noxious to take them down. So they were not able to touch that point. It's not quite the point in the Saints book as of yet. Now it's going to be our turn to attack. But I will give credit here to Ferris State, though. They got their first initial point rather convincing on what can usually be a hard stuck moment on point one. That is definitely an area where if their defense is solid enough that they can kill a ton of time on the Saints clock. And the only problem, though, after that is that cart did not get pushed very far.
Yeah, it did not move very far. Moved just past the gate. And with that gate, it did not close again. Like, if you push it a little farther, I'm pretty sure it closes again.
Yeah.
And you can move forward and you have a little bit more cover. But they were just open season there. Could not just find a safe way onto that cart.
And it's in a scary enough spot that if the team fight goes bad enough for Ferris State, or if Saints are able to get it at the perfect kind of timing, you can probably get that cart up to that point before the respawn like before you get to walk back from respawn. It'd force like a lot of like emergency tracer, emergency like wrecking ball kind of like sprinting heroes to get to the point, which is just never the kind of position you want to be in. So still a very, very tough task here now for Ferris State to try and hold off. It's going to rely heavily on how long they can hold off on this first point.
Delay is off of the Diva here, opting more for a defensive pick of Sigma here.
Wise choice.
The Saints are already pushed up to the first choke point, trying to find a way in. Chance spraying down, laying down that good suppressive fire, but Emeren on the back line laying down the Vortex grenades and just peppering him, making sure FSU gets clumped together, ruins their defensive play, and it looks like Squeak has pushed up and is behind some of the DPSs, and it looks like they have taken control of the point. And now FSU is scrambling, trying to get out of this corner here. The Immortality field goes down, and it may be a Masker huge wall. Delay is fighting for his life here without his team.
He's still hanging in there, though.
Still hanging in there. Noxious hanging on by a thread, but gets taken out. But Delay there, Squeak going in and also gets taken out. And the first assault is repelled successfully by FSU.
And yeah, they're able to hang on, kill off a bunch of time here. I thought that was going to be curtains. It looked like for the Saints initially, they had a bit of a two-pronged attack going there with a lot of the range on the right-hand side and all the melee on the left. And it was doing work, but as soon as they converged onto the point together, I think maybe they thought they had their kill shot a little bit too quickly, and they are able to slowly get choked out. But that being said, round number 2 essentially here for this fight. The wall comes on up to try and mess with the tank line, but now here comes the
Lari ult. That is ridiculous. The Immortality field comes up, trying to save his life. Gets taken out anyways. Emeren getting a kill. Squeak getting a kill. Emeren getting another kill. And Chance taking out the turret, but that is not going to do much with Razor getting another kill and Noxious cleaning up for the team wipe.
Okay, there it goes, and they are going to charge on forward. They want to choke them out before they even get in range. When a perfect perfect hero for this, League on the Mind apparently. Perfect hero for this is the Mei. You've got the wall, and we've got the Blizzard on top of that. If you need to race to a point, this is the most obnoxious character to have to deal with, and that Blizzard is right on point.
They have the assault on the castle locked down. That Blizzard pushed back the much-needed defense on the side of FSU, and it looks like the Makart is moving along.
Yeah, it's right there. They need to move.
Yep.
They need to move, but
I
they're
hear the Orisa ult. There's so many little fights going on, almost paired off. Squeak is on the point, pushing off Kavoski. He needs to stop this push.
There it goes.
That is the round for St. Clair, finally, and that is another point.
Okay, it just turned into a one-on-one 2v2 scrap in like multiple different locations, and the Saints were just able to frankly outgun them, it seems like, and just kind of put them in such an awkward position. Play of the game going to be coming up here. This is going to be Emeren who gets to light them up, it looks like. Gonna pop the ultimate, possibly. We'll see.
Oh, yep.
That is, in fact, exactly going to be the case. Right at the very end here, lights them up with 3 of those railgun shots. Beautifully done, to say the least. And with such a scattered and messy fight, there's just nothing really Ferris State can do.
Yeah, Ferris State, they can find the good plays, and they can, go to toe-to-toe with St. Clair, but St. Clair just knows how to get in and disrupt whatever game plan, whatever positions that FSU manages to have. St. Clair knows how to get in between those cracks and blow up their defense there.
Absolutely, but one thing that people at home may be noticing is we're not saying the game's done yet. So apparently, this was a bit of a change from last year's ABC Collegiate Overwatch, where it was all best of 3s. They are best of 5 matches. So what happened with the last game on the the Gamecocks there? The players thought it was a best of 3 too. They were in the same boats as us. And then when it got to the point where we say, "Oh, wait a second, come on back in. It's a best of 5. You want to play game 3?" They just said, "No. Take the screenshot. We're not coming back for this one." So
we're loading in,
going into game 3 now.
Yep, loading into the 3rd map here, Soravasa. It's a new map, I think. I have not seen this map before.
New map for a new mode here for at least us on the commentary desk. This is what they call a flashpoint.
Oh, yeah.
But for those at home who've been watching our stream for a long enough time, it may sound kind of familiar because this plays pretty similarly to Hardpoint and Call of Duty. So we're going to see initially the capture point show up right in the middle, but eventually, after a little bit of time passes, going to be captured over, points given over to one team, and then it is going to move to a different location up until, I believe, the time runs out. We see the little white outline right there. Both teams going for it, and Saints look like they have the proper ground here.
Yep, they have that very speedy dive comp, but able to get onto the point first. It looks like Squeak is going in there. Big team fight, very chaotic. Noxious gets the kill with the Dragon Blade there, and Squeak gets another, Redix gets another, and just 2 are left, waiting to be picked off by the rest of St. Clair. Redix gets the 2 more there. Sorry, it's hard to keep track here. And that is another team kill. Very chaotic fight right at the beginning. But
yep, so we're going to start getting some percent on ourselves, and I'm pretty certain either first to get to 100 or first after a certain amount of time pass will end up scoring you a point. So compared to Call of Duty, where you can kind of share points depending on, like, you've captured it for a bit, you have like 25 and the other team could have 25 some odd. No, it's just 1 point per flashpoint. So a little bit of a change here. But we do see solid counterattack actually coming out here from Ferris State.
Oh, and there's the Reaper coming to that support and taking out Razor very quickly and efficiently. And just like that, the point has changed for FSU's favor.
I mean, if they can get this Bastion set up somewhere to just open fire on the Saints as they're coming in, that could be extremely annoying. But at the same time, I'm just trying to look at this map because, of course, personally, first time seeing it, I'm not going to lie to you. First time seeing this map, first time seeing this mode. But there are a good handful of angles, so you can't really just kind of perch the Bastion up somewhere unless they can get some scouting info as to where the Saints are.
There's the Kitsune rush out. Looks like FSU is going for an offensive attack here. Bastion coming out, spraying all of his bullets there, but not managed to find any targets. And Noxious prepping the Dragon Blade there. Waiting for the right moment. There is the Junker Queen ult. Oh, does not manage to get the Dragon Blade out, and FSU repels another attack from the Saints, and they are building up that percentage very, very quickly. So the Saints have to get right back there and try and make a scrambled attack.
Literally, as soon as Noxious dropped his Dragon Blade, he got smoked by the Junker Queen ultimate, immediately purpled, could not be healed. So that is going to be the first point going on over into the favor of Ferris State University. But we're going to be moving off this point now. The race once again, but over to a different location. The players will know by a little bubble, I believe, on their screen as to where it goes. I believe it is in the same pattern over and over again. Like, it's not a random thing. But with the way it ended up, I guess the positioning of Ferris State University is able to get them right back onto this point and set up their defense. They should be able, as soon as this thing unlocks, because it does not look like it unlocks right away, but they should be able to start building percent.
There's the Junker Queen ult again, but the FSU gets purpled this time. Razor managed to find 1 kill on their support. Emerin popping the ult, trying to find a kill here. They need to try and take some control here. It looks like the ult was a good intimidation tactic, managing to make them retreat off of the point, and they managed to isolate their tank, take them out. Emerin gets the kill there, and they have taken control of the next point.
All right, by spreading them out like that, it did allow for the Saints to take care of Chance there on the Junker Queen, which I do want to mention. Was Chance playing DPS last game? I feel like he was.
He was, yeah.
So a little bit of a switch up there on this side of Ferris State seems to be like doing them an overall positive. It was unfortunate for that last team fight. The Saints' positioning was just so good. But another thing that's just absolutely so good and beautiful are Kiriko headshots. Beautifully done to take care of Axe on the other side. And Chance is going to fall. Emerin and the rest of the Saints going to tear on through and send them back. They are in prime position to score themselves a point this time by.
Yeah, once the Saints are in the advantage state here, they know how to use that to the best of their abilities. We do have the Kitsune Rush. We got a couple ults on the board on the side of FSU. Got the Death Blossom, the Kiriko ult, and the Bastion ult. So they may be able to clear out the point if they can use these ults to full effect. But they already are up a point, so they might call it here. But here's the Kitsune Rush. Razor has his. We're hearing the Dragon Blade come out. Emerin gets 2, though. But the Dragon Blade gets killed by the Death Blossom. Emerin gets another kill. Chance kills out the Redix support. And it's all just Kavashki on the point, but not enough to get the point back. It's looking...
Okay, solid effort.
There's Virgil going for the Hail Mary, but not enough. And that's 1-1 for St. Clair and FSU here. On to the next point.
Okay, Ferris State, I'll give you massive credit for that. They had an answer for all the ultimates that basically got thrown into the pit. Noxious fired through, may have gotten 1 kill, but immediately answered as the Genji's diving on in to a Death Blossom there from Kavoski and just shuts it down pretty quickly. But Now racing on over to point number 3. I do believe the Saints are already in position to take this one. But one thing that is kind of scary, on the side of Ferris State, they do have the Bastion ultimate that can absolutely clobber this location if they think the Saints are just going to park themselves on it. And I think the shots are coming on through, but it takes a little bit of time. Squeak, though, finding the initial kill onto Chance. Red X going to be going full DPS mode and full disruption, allowing for Amarin and the rest of the Saints to tear on through. Bastion ult or no Bastion ult does not matter when you're not on the location.
That is looking like St. Clair getting the starting capture for point E. What a deflect on that knife there. Saw it coming a mile away.
All right, percent going to be starting to tick now for the side of St. Clair. I do believe it is first to 3 in this game mode, but we do have a couple ultimates on deck once again here. A little bit of defense from Red X and a little bit of offense from side of Amarin if the opportunity does arise. Similar situation now. Here is Chance, dives on through.
Double
ult, here we go.
ult. It looks like they are a massive team fight, very chaotic. Chance gets one. The sports are doing a lot of work here trying to repair, keep these teams up. Amarin takes out another, popping the ult there, the Sojourn ult. And it is a very messy fight here. Both teams
they were able
trying
to flip
get it out. Yeah, they flipped the point there.
Yeah, so it was just scrappy enough. The Saints were not comfortable fighting that from the point, and it is going to allow this one to go on over towards the side of Ferris State for the time being. But it could be taken right back over. Noxious finds one, looking for a second. Can't quite find it just yet. The Kiriko in his sights, going to be taken down by Razor, actually. And they are slowly but surely going to be able to slice their way through. The Diva coming out here from Squeak as well for a little bit of last-second reinforcements is going to put this percent back on the clock here for St. Clair to get this a little bit closer to another point for them. They probably have 1-2 more team fights at most for Ferris State to fight back for this one.
Yeah, the Ferris State, I don't know, the way the points are ticking up much quicker than the usual capture points, so it looks like I would say only one more team fight. Looks like the FSU needs to go in here, trying. There's the Kitsune rush from St. Clair. Double Kitsune rush here. Kavoshki's going off with his dual shotguns there, has the Death Blossom ready, pops the Death Blossom, but huge Suzu. Amarin takes him out, and Razor takes out Virgil, and now the Tracer is on the point, but that is flashpoint for St. Clair. 2-1. Could be the last one. I think it's to 3. So St. Clair really wants to win this next flashpoint.
Yeah, the invulnerability given from Razor, and I believe Squeak as well had the defensive matrix on top of the Reaper that entire time. Just gobbled it. And Red X, what on the world? You're supposed to be the prey, yet you're the hunter.
Look at them zoom around the site. Genji and Lucio, such fast heroes here. And they are ready for the next fight. It looks like it's more in control for FSU right now, but a big choke point here. Both teams trying to find a pick before they dive all right in.
This looks like such an awkward location to try and have to attack into, and the Saints are going to be able to get the initial lockdown. But if FSU can fight on through, they should be able to hang on to it for a decent while. The switch over to the Zarya might be some combo potential coming up here. But again, Red X point blank with the Bastion is just straight up going to pair up with Noxious and take care of them. And this is just so difficult for this side of FSU to deal with. There's just so many bouncing bodies here for the Saints, but if they do get caught, they will drop.
That Zarya is at max charge right now, but it gets taken out by Noxious, and Amarin takes out the Reaper, and that is the last one on the team close to the point.
So, he's got like 1 HP.
Yeah. It's looking like a very advantageous position for St. Clair here, with Noxious with the Dragon Blade, and Squeak with the Diva ult, and almost have a Kitsune rush on top of that. It's not looking great for FSU.
And of course, I'm not 100%, but if this is first to 3 on this is going to be the series. If the Saints can hang on for like another 20 seconds. We do have the Graviton coming on through. It does have Noxious, does have the deflection to keep things away. Where's that Diva bomb going? It's going to fly on through. Pickle is gone down. We have the Dragon Blade coming on through, but some solid shielding. But it does not matter if you cannot touch the point. They stayed alive, but lost the objective. And the Saints are going to win this series 3-0.
That was a very entertaining game. Lots of action, lots of scrappy fights, lots of very high octane energy. I think I'm a fan of Flashpoint. It's a very good mode.
Absolutely.
But,
We should probably also be a fan,
yeah.
though, and give some credit over to Chance, because this was absolutely
This was
disgusting.
massive.
That initial ultimate that gone through the entire Saints roster right as Noxus dropped the Dragon Blade, focused them down, and was able to wipe the Saints in that favor. So I will give some absolute credit over to
Yeah.
Chance. That was a fantastic play in its own right. And I will say, as a whole, Ferris State University, solid battle nonetheless. The scoreboard, this is one of those cases where the scoreboard doesn't really do the game justice.
Yeah.
Because that was just, like I said, action all around. Ferris State definitely had their opportunities to shine. They looked pretty good at points, but Saints just looked better.
Yeah, the Saints were just on point today, using Alari to full effect. I don't know, was his name Red X?
Red X, yeah.
Red X,
for
yeah.
Lucio.
Sorry. Yeah, he was going off on the supports. And he was just playing them almost like DPS, getting so many kills, just being so good at healing, keeping his team up. Saints were just on point, so shout out to the supports. Everyone was playing great, though.
Red X on Lucio is basically like, you know, like there's the meme where this is the Lucio on my team. This is the Lucio on their team,
Yeah.
and it's an absolute giga chad. Like,
Yeah.
it's Red X's Lucio diving in. If it was my ranked game, if I had that Lucio on my team, he'd be the one who just dives in and gets instantly one shot.
Yep.
But yet, all of a sudden, this guy's just going in and basically keeping a pace with the DPS, or at the very, very minimum, being such a disruption to allow for the rest of the Saints to just do so much work. And everybody just absolutely coming together beautifully here in this matchup.
Yeah, it was a great game all around. It was so entertaining. The new Flashpoint mode, too.
It was cool.
So cool. I thought it would be a little more slow because Hardpoint can be a little slow sometimes in COD, but they managed to speed it up a lot more, in my opinion, and got it to be very high action, which was my concern with Overwatch, with the bigger health bars, more abilities.
That's interesting, because I feel like if I look at, I know I'm comparing Call of Duty or Hardpoint to Flashpoint or whatever, but with COD, I find that sometimes hard to follow because you're
It
just
is.
you're respawning pretty much instantaneously and just diving right back into the fight. But the fact that it was like team fight into team fight into team fight with a little bit of like a build up period, that was really, really cool. I liked
Less camping.
yeah, less camping involved, less like strict positional lockdown. You might get yourself into positions where you do have it locked down for a little bit, but then hey, you got to move to the next spot. So like it's basically an open season all over again. But in terms of matches, that's Saints 2-0 on the day.
Yeah, it was a great game all around. I had a fantastic time casting. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being on, and thank you, of course, to the whole back room for holding down the fort, especially during that gigantic delay.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of you for sticking around through that as well, because I know that can definitely be annoying, and I do feel bad when those kind of scenarios do happen. Definitely need some content to fill those holes, and you know, all of us here at the Saints are going to be working on that. But in terms of what you'll see us next here for tomorrow, no broadcasts happening, but we will be back with our first time seeing the green roster on for our Rocket League squad going in their first NACE Star League matchup. But if you're looking for specifically Overwatch, that will be Tuesday. But any final thoughts before we close things out?
No, I think I'm good. I had a great time, and I'm happy to be back and moving again.
Absolutely. The chaos is only just beginning. Collegiate season has just started. Thank you for being a part of it here for this very first week, and we will see you starting on Monday next week.